Hello and welcome everyone. I am Santosh Baliga and in this lecture I am going to discuss with you the concept of small company, and this is a part of the topic of types of company. So without wasting any time, let's get into the concept of small company under section 2 subsection 85 of the Companies Act 2013. So far we have covered private company, public company, and one of the types of private company was an OPC also. That also we have covered in our last lecture. So a private company, public company and OPC, these are three types of companies which have been created on the basis of number of memberships in the company. Within private company, there is yet another category which has been created, which is a small company concept. Okay, and this has been defined under section 2 subsection 85. Okay, now why they have created an category, special category as small company? One thing is to encourage entrepreneurship, include these under organized sector. Also, there are many corporate entity benefits such as easier access to funding. There is limited compliance requirements. So this is the reason why government came up with the concept of small company. Now the small company concept is not on the basis of number of members, but on the basis of a criteria, basis of two criterias which if fulfilled by the company, they can attain the status of small company. Okay, the first criteria is on the basis of the paid up share capital, and the second is on the basis of turnover. Now such company has to fulfill both the conditions, and even if it fails on any one of the criteria, then it will not be considered as a small company. Okay, now we will get into the details of the definition that has been provided. Before that, let me tell you what is the criteria. Criteria basically is that the paid up share capital shall be equal to or less than 4 crore rupees. Okay, and turnover as per the P&L of previous year, that is the preceding year, it shall be not more than 40 crore rupees. Okay, so coming back to the criteria, what does the criteria say? Criteria says that paid up share capital shall be equal to or less than 4 crore rupees and turnover shall be equal to or less than 40 crore rupees. Now this is the criteria or threshold which has been provided by central government under the rules. Okay, now central, as per the act, as per the definition, it is very clear that the central government have a maximum limit of 10 crores of paid up share capital and 100 crores of turnover. Okay, so this is the maximum limit, means this is the maximum which can be prescribed by the central government. Currently this is of no use for us, so what we have to understand is this part only, which has been implemented as per the amendment. Okay, now in the definition it was given as paid up share capital as not more than 50 lakh rupees and turnover not more than 2 crore rupees. That has been changed now, and it has been provided that 4 crores and 40 crores. Okay, this was the amendment which has come a couple of years back. Okay, so what do we need to remember when we are checking the criteria of a small company? Very simple. We have to check paid up share capital. Is it below or equal to 4 crores? Turnover, is it below or equal to 40 crores? And for this turnover, we have to check preceding year's P&L. Preceding year P&L. Okay, but for paid up share capital, there is no such requirement. There is no such specified period that has been provided. Hence, we will be looking at the present year paid up share capital. Okay, so we have understood the criteria very clearly. Criteria is very simple over here. Okay, but first of all, I would like to tell you that there are some companies which cannot be categorized as small company as per the definition itself. Let us understand which are these companies cannot be small company. These are first is an holding company or a subsidiary company. Okay. Second is a company which is an NPO, non-profit organization, or it has been registered under Section 8 of the Companies Act. Okay. In fact, all NPOs are registered under Section 8 itself. Okay. The third point is any company which is governed under any special act. Okay. Some of the examples over here I will give you as LIC of India. LIC of India. It is created under LIC Act, and it is also governed by IRDA, which is a separate regulator for insurance companies. Okay, so such companies cannot be, although they meet the criteria at some point of time, they will still not be able to take the benefits of small company. Okay, so a holding company, subsidiary company cannot be, even if it meets the criteria, cannot be termed as a small company and cannot take benefit of the exemptions which have been provided for a small company. Secondly, a non-profit organization cannot be termed as a small company. Now, this is a company which has already been created under Section 8, and a non-profit organization already enjoys a lot of exemption in terms of compliance. So, any more exemption is not required as per the lawmaker, and hence he has excluded it from this particular scope of small company. Okay, and the last one is company which is governed under any special act. So, have you understood the exceptions or the types of companies which cannot be small company? Okay, so three things we have understood over here. One is a small company is basically it has been created under the private company's umbrella itself. Okay, it cannot be a public company. Second point we have understood is that there are two criteria that has to be met by a company. First criteria is paid up share capital has to be less than or equal to 4 crores. Then the second one is the turnover of the preceding financial year shall not exceed 40 crores. That means it shall be equal to or less than 40 crores. Okay, if these two criteria have been met, and such company shall not be a holding or subsidiary company, it shall not be a non-profit organization under Section 8, and it shall not be governed under any special act. If it is falling under these three criteria, then it cannot be termed as a small company. Okay, so we have understood the criteria, we have understood the concept of small company over here. Let us go ahead and do some scenarios over here so that we are able to understand it further. Okay, in exams you will get some scenarios in the case study kind of a question where you will be asked to ascertain whether such company is a small company or not. Okay, so let us understand this from paid up share capital. Okay, one more point over here is that what has been specified in the criteria is paid up share capital. Paid up share capital means it will include equity share capital plus preference share capital. Okay, please keep this point in your mind whenever you are calculating it. Now, paid up share capital for say a particular company has been incorporated in 2024. Okay, now let us ascertain whether this company is a small company or not. Okay, now first 2025-26, whether it is a small company or not, the paid up share capital is 2 crore, so it is meeting the criteria of less than or equal to 4 crores. Okay, and for turnover we have to see that we have to check the turnover for the preceding financial year. So preceding financial year, the turnover is how much? Turnover is 20 crores, so this criteria is also met. So for 25-26, this company would be an criteria of small company is met, and hence it can be categorized as a small company. Okay, now 26-27, 4 crores or less. Okay, 4 crores or less, that means the threshold limit is up to 4 crores. So the paid up share capital criteria is met. But is the turnover criteria met over here? Turnover is 42 crores. For turnover we are checking for the preceding financial year. So 42 crores is more than 40 crores. Hence it is not a small company for this year. Okay, have you understood this? Now 27-28, the criteria for paid up share capital is not met, and the criteria for turnover is met, but still both the conditions have to be met. Both the criteria have to be met, then only we will categorize it as a small company. Over here also it is not a small company. Now in the last scenario, paid up share capital again is 5 crores, so that particular criteria is not met, and the turnover is 40 crores, that is met, but still it is not a small company. Okay, now let me give you one more scenario where paid up share capital for 25-26 is 4 crores and turnover is 40 crores. Okay, but we have to check whether this company is a small company for the year 26-27. So the paid up share capital is 4 crores, that is met, and the previous year it is 40 crores. Now what is the law is saying? Law is saying that you have to be not more than 4 crores, not more than 40 crores. That means up to 4 crores, up to 40 crores is okay, and hence it will be a small company for the year 26-27. Okay, so you have understood all these scenarios. Let me give you 2-3 more scenarios so that the concept is completely clear. Okay, now there is a company which is X Limited company, which is a section 8 company. Okay, section 8 company, that means it is an NPO. Okay, now the paid up share capital is say 3 crores. Okay, and the turnover is 20 crores. Is it an Will you call this as a small company? No, I will not call this as a small company, because an NPO can never become a small company. That is given in the exceptions itself. Okay, over here. Okay, so this part is also clear. Now the next part is, there is a company which is H Company Limited, and there is a company which is S Company Limited. Okay, over here the turnover of H Company Limited is 3 crores, and the turnover of the paid up share capital of H Company is 3 crores and S Company is 2 crores. The turnover is 30 crores and the turnover is 20 crores. Now tell me whether this can be categorized as small company. Yes, they can be categorized as small company. Now the catch over here is, H Company is the holding company of S Company Limited. That means S Company Limited is the subsidiary company of H Company Limited, and the exception is very clear that an holding company and subsidiary company cannot be termed as small company. Although they are meeting the criteria, they cannot become small companies. Okay, this part is also clear. Now a company like LIC, LIC of India, this is governed under a special act. So even if this particular company meets the criteria, for example, it meets the criteria, then still it cannot become an small company, because it is governed under a special act. So these are the provisions, these are the scenarios which are there under the small company. Let us quickly go into the definition of small company. Small company means a company other than public company. That means it is a private company. It cannot be a public company. Okay. Paid up share capital of which does not exceed 50 lakh rupees or such higher amount as may be prescribed, which shall not be more than 10 crore rupees. Now, before the amendment by the rules by the central government, it was 50 lakh rupees. But we should not get confused by this, because the central government through rules has changed this to 4 crore rupees. So it has to be how much? At least it has to be how much? Not more than, or does not exceed how much? 4 crore rupees. Okay, this we are speaking about paid up share capital. And for turnover in the immediately preceding financial year does not exceed, previously it was 2 crore rupees, it has been amended to how much? 40 crore rupees. Okay, how much it has been amended to? 40 crore rupees. So we can remember it, 4 is to 40. 4 is for paid up share capital, paid up share capital, and 40 is for turnover. If this equation is met, then only you can say that it is a small company, and it shall not be falling under the criteria of those three companies. Which three companies? A holding company or a subsidiary company, company registered under section 8, or a company or body corporate governed by any special act. These cannot be small company. Clear hai? Are we clear about this? So here you can see that the Companies Act rules, which is specification of definition details rules, it has been provided that the paid up capital and turnover of the small company shall not exceed how much? 4 crore rupees or 40 crore rupees respectively. What do we need to keep in our mind? Very, very simple. Keep it very, very simple. I have seen students getting confused over here. Just remember 4 is to 40. Is this ratio meeting? That means 4 means what? Paid up share capital shall be less than or equal to 4 crores, and turnover shall be less than or equal to how much? 40 crores. If this is meeting, then it can be called as a small company as per section 285. And one small thing that I have missed over here is that what are the benefits of registering a particular company as a small company? Is that advantages is that there are many exemptions which have been provided. There are many exemptions which are being provided. One of them is that you do not have to hold 4 board meetings in a year, whereas you can hold 1 board meeting in each half of the calendar year with a gap of not less than how much? 90 days. Okay, with a gap of not less than 90 days. That means what does this mean is that, say we are speaking about calendar year over here. Okay, so Jan to December is a calendar year. Within this, June 30th June. Okay, so this is the first half, this is the second half. Over here you can do 1 board meeting, over here you can do 1 more board meeting. So 2 board meetings in a year, in a calendar year, and there shall be a gap of at least how much? At least 90 days between each of the board meeting. Okay, so the first point is clear. The next point is you are not required to prepare cash flow statement. Abridged annual report can be provided in the AGM by the company. Abridged means what? Abridged means summary. A summary can be provided. You do not have to provide the whole annual report which is supposed to be provided by a private company or a public company. You can provide a smaller version of it, a summarized version of it in the annual general meeting. Okay, lesser and lenient compliance requirements, no necessity of certifications of e-forms from a professional, that is CA, CS, CMA. So mostly for a private company or a public company, they have to get their e-form certified by the professional, that is the practicing chartered accountant, company secretary or a CMA. In this case, for a small company, that also has been waived off. So these are some of the advantages which are there in terms of exemptions, in terms of compliance of company law, which has been provided for a small company. So I hope you have understood the topic of small company very, very well. So with that, I would end this particular video. Thanks a lot. If you have found this particular video useful, do give it a like and subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. That's it, friends. I'll meet you in the next lecture. Bye bye.